Okay. Hi, this is Joy with Quells for Change, and I am with the HOA Reform. I'm with HOA Reform Leaders National, and you are the founder, Mr. Patrick Johansen. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I found your group on Facebook when just a couple months ago, I started going through some really awful things with my HOA. Putting liens on a million people's homes and making it hard for people to, pay them off. And that's how I found your group. So I thought it's been like a really great resource for myself to kind of spread the word that there is support, that other people are going through things like this with their own HOA. So do you mind just briefly telling me like who you are, what you guys do, and why?
Sure. Yeah, my name is Patrick Johansen. I'm the founder of Hurling. And our group name is HOA Reform Leaders National Group, just so HRLNG. And you can find us on Facebook groups under that name. And we welcome everybody to join who's trying to change the laws in their state to protect the homeowners. And that is actually our main goal. Our main goal is to change the laws of all the states to protect the homeowners and to benefit the homeowners. Right now, we're seeing amazing amount of challenges with people in HOAs and condo associations suffering incredible abuse. Where many locations are having situations where their board is intentionally trying to filing like false CCR violations and things like that against them in order to build that up so they can foreclose on their home. It's quite a scary situation. Most people in HOAs have no idea how much danger they're in living in an HOA.
I definitely didn't. I didn't grow up in Texas. I was a military brat, but I'm divorced and I got this house in my divorce, but I never lived in an HOA before. And I didn't even know what an HOA was when I had to take over the home. And I was telling people like all the neighborhoods I lived in, lived in when I was growing up, they were beautiful. And we had no HOA. People just took care of their homes. And this neighborhood, you do pay an HOA, and it's not so. It doesn't look so hot, And it's like a lot of people have been asking me, "What am I paying for?" And I'm like, I don't know. Besides to be harassed, right, to have liens placed on your home, and people trying to take them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a situation. We're having a storm here. I'm in Washington, and we're in a pretty hefty storm with heavy winds. So it seems to be affecting the internet a little bit. So if I go off, just hang on a minute, and it'll come back on. We froze there for about 1 second, a few minutes ago there.
No, I appreciate it. I was really excited when you responded to me. Like I said, this group has been a great resource to me, putting out information, starting groups in my own neighborhood. How long have you been doing this, if you don't mind me asking, and what made you start doing this?
Well, I've been kind of building this since 2016. Our national group, we just started about 2.5 years ago. But before that, I had bought into an HOA, and I'd never bought into an HOA before. I ran into unbelievable problems there. Initially, I just thought that the board members were really stupid. And so I tried to get out. I got on the board. I got elected to the board. And when I got there, then I was like really stunned with the amount of illegal and unethical actions of the board. It just was incredible and just blatant. They just didn't care, and they absolutely knew they were violating the laws, but just did it anyway. My case was, I won't go into the details of my case, but it was a situation where they had filed a false CCR violation against me, and when I followed all the rules, applied for an appeal. When I went in for the board appeal, they couldn't show me any covenant that I was violating, but voted to fine me anyway.
Wow,
for an unknown, non-existing covenant. So I went through several years in court. So I lucked out. I took them to small claims court multiple times. Each time they would try to find me, I'd take them to small claims court and they'd lose. And then they had to and the first time I did it, when they tried to find me, I hired an attorney and he wrote them a letter. And then they dropped it. And then they came back again and tried to find me again. And then I took them to court for the attorney's fees, won that. And it just kept snowballing and snowballing. Eventually, I realized that I was never going to be happy living there. And so I sold my property there and bought a property outside the HOA in the same town. And so much nicer now, much nicer living.
Right.
Not
Right.
in a battle every day.
Well, let me ask this. Because like for my HOA who's put liens on over 44 homes and it's only growing because I checked the court dockets and they clearly had no idea that I was going to do that or that I knew how to do that. But I work in the legal system too. So I guess for me, I feel like they have this law firm it's very predatory in nature. They just, I was trying to pay the whole lien in full and they told me I had to pay a fee, which was like $250, $300 to pay the whole balance. And then they didn't want to give me an itemized receipt. And then when they did, they tried to take that and put it somewhere else because they know good and well that they're not supposed to, charge me something like that. But let me ask this because I don't understand why an HOA would do that unless they were getting something out of this. Like, do some of them get kickbacks? I mean, I'm just saying, we're not saying this is what's going on, but what in the world? Because there's no way that you could get me to do that to anybody,
Right,
with a predatory
right,
firm.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, just so we're both safe, we should probably point out that neither one of us are attorneys and neither one of us can give legal advice. Everything we say is just our own opinions. But my experience so far, we now have, I don't know, a little over 100, just about 1,100 members from 49 states plus DC. And in those, we've seen that there's several reasons that people get on the board of an HOA. One of them is just pure ego, I think. People that have kind of a sadistic feeling that they like to be able to force people to do things that they don't want to do.
Right.
And
I think I lost him for a second. Dang, and it was getting good. Okay,
I think we froze there for a second.
Yeah. Okay. So you were saying one is for people with sadistic personalities who want to
Right.
hurt people and do things to them.
Yeah, they just seem to get a kick out of that, being able to crush somebody else and force somebody into doing something that they don't want to do. The second one is profit, and there's a lot of ways that board members and property managers and attorneys can make pretty substantial profits from homeowners. And unfortunately, at this point, an awful lot of people are aware of that.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're seeing this spread pretty quickly, I think. Attorney General Rundle in Florida had a news report in that she was talking about how easy it was for people to steal from HOA homeowners. And she was the one who prosecuted the hammocks case in Florida. It's also for some reason called Surfside as well as the hammocks, but but they put a lot of people. I'm sorry, that was two different ones. Surfside fell down. Hammocks was the one she was prosecuting, but a bunch of those board members ended up in jail and fines, and they stole millions from the homeowners in the hammocks. But she talked about how people in HOAs are living in dictatorial situations because the laws are so bad, right? And that's really what it comes down to, is that across the states, we just have horrible laws that almost invite the board members and the property managers to steal from the homeowners. Like she said, it's so easy to steal, it's just unresistible, right? So the way they do that, they get kickbacks from the vendors. They might hire a vendor that's related to them, or a company that they actually own themselves, to be the property manager. Then that one hires another company or another friend to be the lawn mowing service, and another one to be the roof repair, and they charge higher rates than you would normally have to.
Right.
We've had some that are multiple times the actual rate that would be a competitive rate. And then, of
Mhm.
course, they share the extra profits from that. So everybody gets a kickback. So everybody wants to stay in that place. If you think about it, I mean, to be a board member on an HOA, it doesn't pay anything. So
Right.
why would people fight so hard
Right. Right.
to take a volunteer job that doesn't pay anything, right? And then actually fight and cheat in the elections and stuff to keep their position? There has to be a motivation for that. And I don't think the sadistic motivation is even strong enough
Mm-mm.
to justify that. I think it has a lot more to do with the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you froze again.
Oh, there you go. No, I was going to say, because, when I really started investigating, because when I got that lien put on my home, and I went to go meet with the board to talk to them about it because it was ridiculous and unnecessary. And I had never met these people before. And when I tell you, these people were some of the nastiest behaving senior citizens I have ever met. I mean, and I'm trying to figure out, like, why are you acting like this with me? I'm just coming here to talk to you. But I mean, they were rolling their eyes, and the president, he was talking really crazy to me, just like I was trash, basically. That's how I felt. And that was when I realized, like, if this is, I could never think I'm going to be volunteering for something and talking to people that way. I mean, I wouldn't do it on my job, but even volunteering, you're just thinking, like, it just made me wonder, like, what exactly is going on that you feel the need to talk down to me in such a way? And I started thinking, well, if they're talking like this to me, what are they doing to all these other people, right? And I'm not any more
Right.
important. But I started digging because I couldn't understand the I guess I'll say arrogance, or just this idea of, we're up here, you're down there, and too bad, we're gonna hurt, and what are you getting out of this? And like I said, I live in a Black and brown community. The whole HOA is Black. It's a Black board. And I guess I even say that as far as, like, why would you do this to your own people, where we're
Mm-hmm.
already a lot of us, well, not me, but a lot of other African American people, brown people, are just starting to be able to own homes and be able to create a little bit of generational wealth. So, like, to me, I'm just kind of like, why would you think, let me put liens on 44, at least, and higher, of their homes, and they're just going to have to pay all of this money. And I'm just thinking, like, what there's just, like I said, no way that I would be doing anything like that to people,
Right. Right.
and unless I was getting something out of it, and I wouldn't do that. But it wasn't making sense to me, and that's when I started digging, and that's when I found out about so much HOA corruption. It just blew my mind.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. That's what I found too. When I left my HOA, I felt guilty, like I was kind of leaving open bear traps in a schoolyard, right?
Yeah.
I knew people were walking into this and not knowing what was there. And so that's really why I started this. I started it first as a group about my own HOA,
Mhm.
kind of like you're doing. And then people started contacting me from across the state. And I realized, oh my gosh, this is throughout the state of Washington. And I started to talk to the legislators and the county prosecutors and the attorney general's office. And I realized that the problem is that there's no penalties in the law for the board members or the property managers that violate the laws.
Right. Right. Uh-oh. Froze there for a second. Come back, come back. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Okay,
we're
there you
back.
go.
I'm
Okay.
gonna
Yeah, we can
I'm
go
gonna
ahead and,
try.
huh?
Hold on a second.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I'm trying to get onto bot.
Okay. Are you back?
Okay, that
Yeah,
may
I
be
know
better. I'm not sure. We'll try that.
you're what now? Okay. I know
Should be
you have a
better.
storm. I'm gonna let you go. But I was just really, really thankful that you responded to me today, to even give me this opportunity. Because, like I said, I'm brand new at this, but as soon as I started putting the facts out there, of course, the HOA was so angry but oh, there you go.
Kind of disappeared there. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I was gonna say, I'm gonna wrap up with you because I know you have a storm up there, but I wanted to just tell you thank you so much for even just giving me this little bit of time, because I want to get the word out there about this group because it's wonderful. It's a wonderful group. HOA Reform Leaders National, and you have a category for each state. And of course, I'm in Texas, so I'm in that Texas group. But to just let people know that there is support, there's a ton of us. I mean, and I'm hoping that, Congress can start moving on some of this and getting us out of some of these crazy situations with some of these crazy people who clearly have never had authority in their life.
Right, right. There are things that you can do to protect yourself in your HOA if you get enough people from your HOA to work together. And these are state laws, and so we can get the state laws changed, but it's going to take us getting a lot of people to call into the legislators to tell them they need these laws changes. So more people that can help, the more quickly it will happen. If we could get these laws through the state of Texas legislation and get them put our proposed legislation in law, everybody's problems could be over by July. So,
Yeah.
we need people to get in, volunteer, and help.
Okay, well, I thank you so much for being here. I hope to have you again soon, but thank you so much. And I'm putting the information up for the Facebook group so that people can join. Okay, thank you, Mr.
All right, very good.
Johansen. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.